Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to take a totally normal, everyday thing, the sidewalk, and see how it just got a massive legal upgrade. We are transforming recent legal updates into a story about your everyday life. So we're looking at how a simple concrete slab right beneath your feet has literally been elevated to the highest levels of constitutional rights.
So let me ask you this. When did walking to the corner store turn into an extreme sport? Right? We've all been there. Navigating just a few blocks in a busy city these days feels like it requires the agility of a professional athlete.
Section 1. The Pedestrian Obstacle Course. The daily struggle on city streets.
Because let's be real, it's a perfect storm of hostility out there. You're constantly dodging street vendors, squeezing past parked cars, and sometimes you just have to step right into moving traffic to get by. Then you've got garbage dumping and generally awful maintenance. Because hey, potholes aren't just for roads, right? Add to that random utility installations planted right in the middle of your path and road widening projects that actively chew up pedestrian space just to squeeze in more cars. And the cherry on top, really weak enforcement by local authorities, meaning nobody is actually fixing the chaos.
Okay, moving on to Section 2. A new fundamental right. The Supreme Court steps in.
Now, I want you to remember this number, 21. Why? Well, the Supreme Court has recently declared that walking on safe, well-maintained footpaths falls squarely under Article 21 of the Constitution. This isn't just some nice-to-have municipal guideline anymore. We're talking about a fundamental right.
What this actually means is that your morning commute is no longer just a walk. It's tied directly to your fundamental right to life and dignity. You see, Article 21 protects your personal liberty and ensures you can live life with dignity, which the court says absolutely includes being able to walk safely down the street. And then Article 39B comes into play too. That one directs that community resources have to serve the common good. Basically, a footpath is a community resource and it needs to serve everyone, not just a select few.
In fact, the highest court in the land made this incredible observation. They stated, footpaths should not be monopolized by motor vehicles. The court is drawing a line in the sand and making it perfectly clear pedestrians deserve priority. They deserve safe access over motorized traffic. It's a huge pushback against the car-first mentality we've seen for decades.
Which brings us to Section 3. Who is responsible? Identifying the duty bearers. So, if we have this constitutional right now, who exactly is on the hook for fixing the sidewalks? Well, it takes a whole ecosystem of governance. You've got municipal corporations handling the local city management, urban development authorities taking care of the broader regional planning, and panchayats managing rural and semi-urban spots. Then, zooming out, state governments handle the higher-level administration, while traffic and urban planning agencies are the boots on the ground for street-level enforcement. Every single entity here has a legally mandated role to protect your right to walk.
But how do we actually make these authorities do their jobs? The court laid out 4 clear statutory recommendations to turn this into actionable duty. Number 1, explicitly protect pedestrian rights in writing. Number 2, clearly define the exact responsibilities of the authorities we just talked about. Number 3, and this is a big one, ensure undeniable accountability when those duties are ignored. And finally, number 4, create real grievance redress mechanisms so citizens actually have a place to complain when their sidewalk gets blocked.
And to make absolutely sure those 4 steps don't just gather dust, they suggested creating a dedicated regulator or oversight body. Think of it as an independent watchdog whose entire job is to keep everyone accountable and ensure that the implementation and enforcement of pedestrian rights actually happens in the real world.
Let's dive into Section 4, Designing Human-Centric Cities, a shift in urban planning.
What we're really talking about here is a massive mindset shift. On one side, you've got vehicle-centric planning. This is what we're all used to, right? Designing cities purely for cars, expanding roads, speeding up traffic, adding endless parking spaces, usually by carving away our sidewalks. But on the flip side is human-centric planning, or pedestrian priority. This completely shifts the focus to designing cities for actual human beings, prioritizing walkability, real road safety, and equitable access for people on foot.
When we actually focus on people, footpaths become the total foundation of a healthy city. They ensure you can get around safely. They promote equitable access to public spaces for everyone, whether you own a car or not. They massively improve urban inclusivity and accessibility. Plus, they support environmental sustainability and encourage healthier lifestyles because walking is just easier. Ultimately, a good network of footpaths proves a city is actually committed to human-centric planning.
And all of this feeds into a really powerful constitutional concept, the right to the city. This is the core idea that the urban environment belongs to all of its residents. Every single citizen, whether they're driving an SUV or walking to the bus, has an equal right to safely access, use, and enjoy the city they call home.
Finally, Section 5, the road ahead, building better sidewalks for the future.
So, how do we make this a reality? The way forward requires a clear roadmap. We need universal footpath design standards so the quality is consistent across neighborhoods. We absolutely have to build barrier-free infrastructure for elderly and disabled persons. There needs to be strict action against encroachments. We're also going to need dedicated pedestrian budgets and urban local bodies. You got to put the money where the right is. And lastly, integrated mobility planning that genuinely prioritizes non-motorized transport. These are the tangible solutions we need.
So I'm going to leave you with this one provocative question to think about. Does the right to walk mark a true paradigm shift in urban governance? Is this ruling really going to transform our city streets to prioritize you over the automobile? Or is it just the first step in a very long walk? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep an eye on the streets around you, and I'll catch you next time.